Hello, good morning, or whatever it is. Get myself sorted, get myself comfy. Hello. Okay, I'm having a Slurpee, I'm having a fag, same as normal. And we're going to do another My Thoughts. This is, I think it's about 60 something of my thoughts. When I first started doing this, a friend of mine, Dave in the Shire, bless him, he asked me a question. He just said, what's your thoughts on this, Bri? Whatever it was. And sorry, Dave, it was a long time ago now, forgotten. So I gave him my thoughts, and then somebody else came on and said, that was great, what's your thoughts on this? And then 2 days later, somebody else said, what's your thoughts? So this series, I do joke about it saying it's never ending. It actually is never ending. But anyway, whatever. So, rolling a fag, having a Slurpee, just back from quite a long bimble in the sunshine, and it was absolutely beautiful and glorious. Met my friend down there, so we had a good chat. That was really nice. So this, my thoughts come from, I don't know if your name's Carolyn or Caroline, sorry. But anyway, Bright, statistics show that more and more people are choosing to be alone, to live a single life. What are your thoughts, please? Statistics show that more and more people are choosing to be alone, live a single life. Well, it's up to each individual person what they must do, really, and also don't take any bloody notice of statistics. They can be manipulated any which way. However, probably in this case, I think they're right. My thoughts, really, I think a lot. I think it's difficult to be in a relationship nowadays because you don't meet people in the traditional way that we used to years ago. And more people are living quite an insular life, really, so they stay in a lot. And perhaps they meet people online. Not so much dating stuff, although there's nothing wrong with that. But perhaps Facebook friends or whatever, or subscribers of a YouTube channel. It could be anything, really. They meet people, and when they meet, you know, in real life, they just kind of click. So perhaps that is how people meet. So I think, firstly, there's a different way of being now. You know, as in finding a partner. Secondly, I think maybe for the youngsters, marriage is a little bit of an outdated thing now. I've got, well, I know several people really, but 2 or 3 or 4 in my family are in long-term relationships, even living together with children and what have you, and they're not married. Obviously it's a decision that they've made, and that's fine. You know, if it works for them, it works for them. I haven't spoken to them about it, but you know, I just think maybe, I don't know what it is, maybe people don't feel the need to spend a load of money and have a grumpy party to show the world that they love their partner. Maybe there's something in that. So yeah, I think the world has changed, really. I think, I did read the other day, I read a report saying that young people in particular are leaving the BBC and television in their droves. Well, of course they are. You know, who would now buy a television as a youngster? You know, everything you need is on your phone or your tablet or your PC or whatever you're using. So you wouldn't necessarily go out and buy a television. So that's really changed. And where, perhaps when I was a kid, we had a television and Mum used to gather us round and we watched a Norman Wisdom film or a comedy or whatever. And then the telly would remain on the best part of the evening. That is not the case now. People don't just sit and look at a screen anymore. It's more interactive. They tend to do things, so they might phone people and play games and whatever they're doing. So I think things have just changed in that respect. And therefore I think that marriage really has just changed. It's just evolved really, that's all. So the youngsters have evolved from us watching telly to them not watching telly. And the older generation put a lot of stock in marriage and thought marriage was a good idea, and perhaps the youngsters don't. Still youngsters get married, many youngsters get married, but clearly, statistics do show that more and more people are choosing a single life or choosing to live alone. It's probably two different and separate things, that, isn't it? To choose a single life or to choose to live alone is different altogether, because you can live alone and still be in a relationship. You just choose to live separately. That's, for me, I live alone and I love living alone. I function better on my own. I'm probably selfish. I don't think in a nasty way, but I'm probably selfish. I like my space. I like to know that if I leave something somewhere, it's there the following day. If I'm lazy, I'm lazy. That's fine, that's up to me. If I can't be bothered to, I don't know, hoover up or wash up, that's fine. And other times I like it lovely and clean and tidy around me. That's fine. I've got a double bed and I can sleep on whichever part I want. And in the summer, if I get warm, I can move over to the cooler area. I can have the window open all night long, or a fan blowing on me without any moaning. You've got to compromise. When you've got a partner with you, you've always got to compromise. Too hot or too cold, or, oh, you're not going out tonight, are you? Oh, you haven't invited them round. Let's go out, shall we? Whatever. And you end up doing things that you don't particularly want to. Now, of course, if you're married and you're listening to this, you think, well, let a bollocks, Bri, because I love spending time with my partner. And that's brilliant, that's perfect, that's how a marriage should be. However, not every marriage is like that, I'm sure you'd agree. But there's a lot of compromise that goes on with relationships and what have you, and I think some people may like to be in a relationship, but they just choose to actually live alone. Their personal space is their space and they don't want anybody to invade it, really. That's a big word, invade. But people do invade. They use everything and all the rest of it, I was chatting to a friend years ago, I won't go into the story really, but I was chatting to a friend, he was single and what have you, and met this girl, and about 6 months later she decided to move in, and we were on the phone, and I said, how's it all going then, alright? And he said, yeah, I can't fucking move. And I said, why? He said, well, apparently 40 cushions are not enough and you've got to buy more. He said the bathroom, shelves, cabinet, the edge of the bath, the side of the shower, everything is full of products, millions of products. He said, I keep knocking them all over. He said, I just leave them now. Just leave them now. And I thought, how funny. He goes to get in the bath, knocks over 20 products and just thinks, oh, I'll just leave them. She'll pick them up. I just thought that was quite comical, really. So he's got to... there's a lot of give and take there, and clearly he's given by having his... I mean, he was quite a clean and tidy person, but his space is now full of cushions and products, he calls them. So there is a lot of give and take that people are not prepared to do, perhaps, me included. For me, I can go to bed when I want. If I want a nap in the afternoon, I'll go and have a nap without being questioned. Are you okay? Do you feel poorly? How long are you going to be? I thought you said you'd do this today. You haven't done that yet. Those sort of things. I can go to bed in the evening if and when I want to. I can wake up and 2 in the morning, go and walk my dog if I want to. I've got nobody to question me at all, and that is perfect for me in my life. These videos only ever right for me, really, but my thoughts on why more and more people are becoming single, don't know. Perhaps I think it's a busy life for a lot of people, and a lot of people have people around them at work all the time, and they might live in a city or a town, and they go shopping, there's people around all the time, they travel there on public transport, there's people around all the time, and they got to attend meetings, and their phone's always bloody going, and they're busy, busy, busy. And when they come home, they just want to shut their door and step into silence. Perhaps that's it. It's probably for a million reasons that people choose to be alone. As I say, for me, I just function better on my own. I like to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So if I want to today, if I got some work to do, I'll do that. If I fancy doing some art, I'll do that. If I want to go and nap, I'll go and nap. If I walk my dog once or twice or 5 times today, that's exactly what I'll do. I don't have to bend in any way. I just do what I want to do. And I've got so used to doing that, I think it would be hopeless for me personally to be in a relationship. And if I was, I would have to have a separate space, this space. So I wouldn't really want a live-in girlfriend. I wouldn't want that at all. Yeah, I think it's for lots of different reasons. Selfish reasons, if you want to call selfish. I mean, being selfish isn't a bad thing in itself, is it? As long as you're not selfish in a nasty way kind of thing. I've got friends that they can't function unless they're in a relationship, unless they've got a partner living with them. They don't feel right. They don't. One old friend, occasionally he will come home and his missus is doing an extra shift at work, and he'll come into the house and within 5 minutes he goes down the pub. And he said to me, I can't stand it. I cannot stand to be alone. He said, you walk in, there's no one there. He said, I hate it. He's been married many, many years. I mean, that's just his way. Like I say, everybody's different. Everybody works on themselves and in life and deals with things how they want to, how they should, how they need to, probably, really, how you're driven to. So I think the single life works for many people, and I think marriage works for many people, and I think being in a perhaps a not quite committed relationship, not fully committed, works for many people as well. And as I say, it's each their own. If statistics show that more and more people are choosing to live alone, it could be for all of those reasons and more, because everybody would have their own separate reason, or reasons. Many reasons. If I wrote a list, there would be many, many reasons why I choose to be alone, choose to have a single life. Many, many reasons, and I'm fed up. I'm never going to play the dating game again and all the rest of it. I'm not going to go down that route. Been there, done that so many times. It's not for me. I don't want it, and I won't do it. Simple as that. That's the selfish part of me. I won't do it. Just won't. So yeah, it's as I say, you've got to live your life on sort of your terms, your way, really. And I think when you know yourself, really know yourself, then you know whether or not you function better as a couple, or whether you function better on your own. And I don't think there's really much in between. I think it is probably one camp or the other. And I think for many people, yeah, okay, I mean, they want to live a single life, that's fine. The only thing, the bad thing, I suppose, about if these statistics are correct, there are not many single properties, single bedroom properties. If I live in a 2-bed property, for instance, and a lot of people do that I know that are single, and even a 3-bed. However, that's not the person who's choosing a single life. It's not their fault. It's not their problem, I don't think, either, because if the councils and the governments and the builders and that can't get together and build some decent quality single bedroom properties, hard luck. You know, when I was thinking about leaving my last property that was a one bed, when I was thinking about that, I was trying to find a one bed, and I found, maybe I found either one or two. Yeah, I probably found one or two in about a 3-month period. Bearing in mind, I'd also found in that time maybe 200 two-bed properties, within my sort of price bracket. So I did look for a one-bedroom place, so you've now got a lot of single people living in what could be a family place, really. I mean, there could be a family living here. Certainly there could be mum and dad and 1 or 2 kids. You could have that quite easily, really. Especially if it was 2 boys or 2 girls, then they can share, really. That's no problem. But that, as far as I can see, that is about the only problem. And it's not a problem, as I say. For me, it's not a problem. I looked, couldn't find it. So this one came up. This is a 2-bed, and I said, yeah, that's great. Not my problem. And I was speaking to a friend a while ago, probably a year or 2 ago, and he said he wouldn't mind moving. He's got a 2-bed property, lives in Carlisle actually, and he said to the council, have you got any 1 beds? And they said no. And when they do come up, they're just snap straight away. And the reason why he said that, he's quite skint really, bless him, but when you live in a 2-bed property in the UK, you have to pay bedroom tax on the other bedroom. It's just a con, really, but that's the government for you. And he really couldn't afford it. And he said, I want to move. I want to move to a property that I can afford. I want a 1-bedroom property. And they said there are none. So it's not his fault now that he lives in a 2-bed, because he wants to move. And they said, no, you can't move, because there are none. Excuse me. So stay put and carry on paying us. So there's a reason why they're building 2-bed properties, why they've only got 2-bed properties on their books. It's free money. That's what it is. So the single person actually contributes far more than if they were a couple living there, when you think about it. Yeah, Caroline, whatever your name is, sorry about that. Yeah, quite an interesting topic, really, but I think the answers are probably vast, probably many. Probably people have been in relationships, maybe awful relationships, and they don't want to put themselves through that again, so it's a self-preservation type of a thing, really. And that is also fine. Everything's fine. Everything, people do whatever they do in life, and I don't think any of us are really here to judge anybody, and if we are, just bloody ignore it, I'm sure people would think, oh, that's not fair, bro, living in a 2-bed property. Well, I pay my way, I pay my rent, then I pay to the council for an extra bedroom, but I'm happy to do that because I like the extra space, the additional space that this has given me, this art room, for instance. I'm quite happy to pay my way to have the extra space. Okay. Just finished the video. I will put this up after, really, but on the October the 31st, on Halloween, I did say in a video that I'm going to have 3 art pieces on a sale. I've worked it out now, and I think it's 5 art pieces, 5 pieces, and my book for a day or two will be half price. So October the 31st, but I mean this will go up sometime in November. But the pieces of art I put on for 10 days, so I got itchy nose. Yeah, the pieces of art I normally put up for 10 days, so I think by the time this video goes up, the sale, if you like, is still on. So if you want a piece of art for Christmas or whatever, get yourself over to Issy Art. Links are in the description box, blah, blah, blah. We're feeling good. And we're quite happy. And we are loving beautiful blue sky today with sunshine. Wonderful. I bought a winter duvet and all the gubbins to go with it a couple of days ago, and last night was the first night that I went to bed, and it was absolutely lovely, really, really warm and toasty. But actually it was so much so because it was quite a mild. I felt mild anyway. I mean, this morning I had a look, and apparently overnight it was 2 degrees here. But I felt quite warm. Maybe it was just because I was under the duvet, but I ended up kicking the bloody thing off me. But I've got it for the bad times that might come ahead, really, the cold times. I decided after living in Issy for nearly 4 years that I would never ever go cold again, and I don't. I have the heating on regular for many hours at a time, sometimes all day and all night, so be it. Got a heated blanket in my bed, I got this nice duvet, I got these teddy bear sheets and pillowcases which are lovely to sink into. Just refuse to go cold, and again, that's something that people do struggle with. Often, you know, in a partnership, one partner is warmer than the other and likes cool air. A mate of mine, for instance, his missus, she's got a big lady, but she likes the window open and she likes a fan on, but all year long. And he said he lays there bloody freezing, but he has to put up with it, you know, because it is a partnership, you know. And I'm sure that, quite certain, there's things he does that she doesn't particularly enjoy or like. So life is all about compromise, and I think living a single life, you compromise a lot less, and I think that is why people choose the single life. Take care and be well. Ta-da.